Hello everybody, my name is Alexa Rubin and I like to tell you a little story. I'm from Germany, so when I make some mistakes in English, just think it over. I was telling my children stories, of course in German, when they were little, but they are big now. And now I tell the stories to everybody who wants to listen to stories which I just invent in this second. So if you like to support me a little bit, you can subscribe the channel and you can send it to your friends that they also enjoy the little stories. So I invent a story now. Once upon a time, there was a fisherman. And this fisherman, he had a daughter. And she was so happy. She was dancing all the day. They had a little house next to the beach. And she was such a happy girl. She had curly hair and she was so pretty. And the father always said, I wish I could give you much more because you deserve the best. You deserve to be a princess. But now you are my princess and I will give you the best fish and the best food. And sometimes he was bringing her little pearls and she made a little necklace with his pearls. And she felt that she needs nothing anymore. And her life was really perfect. One day there was a storm and the father did not really come home and she was worried. But then suddenly the father came home and she saw him with his little boat going through the waves up and down. And he had not lots of fish because he said it was so stormy, I had to go back. But I was catching a little mini fish and you cannot believe it, what he was wearing. He was wearing a ring around him like a belt. And look what a ring it is. And it was a ring, golden, with a red stone, shining so much that she could not believe it. She said, it shines more than the sun goes down. It's amazing. And she was so happy. She was hugging her dad and she was making him a nice tea in the night. And they were speaking a long time. The other day, when the father went out for fishing, she was sitting there in the sunset and she was looking her ring. And the sun went down very red. In this second, she saw her ring and there was like a storm coming, but just around her. All the leaves of the flower, the pretty leaves of the flowers and they went around her. It was like a wind carrying her up in these flowers. It was a beautiful picture with this beautiful girl, the ring shining so bright and this wind around her bring her over the sea. She was like flying over the sea in this wind with these flower leaves, like a rainbow. And she saw all the fishermen and she saw how wide the sea was. And she said like, it's so beautiful. I have such an amazing house here next to the sea. And it's incredible how large the sea is. I'm really the luckiest girl in the world. And she saw from the distance in the mountains, she saw a big castle. Big with lots of towers. And it was white and it was shining bright with the golden roofs everywhere. And then the wind slowly bring her home to her little house. Then a little bit later, the father came home and he said, and how was your day? And she said, beautiful, and I saw the sea. But the father said, yes, but you see the sea all the time. And she said, well, I saw it a little bit different today. But now I am so happy. I'm even more happy than I always was because I saw how special we live and how nice our house is next to the sea and that we have really everything. And then the father said, no. Everything really the king has. If you would see what a big castle he had. Normally, it's sad that you are not one of these kings and queens, because you would be the best queen. The girl was thinking, well, I like to live here. So they went to sleep again. And the next day, she was waiting, and the sun went down again. A little wind came. All the little leaves of the flower was flying around her and pulled her up in the air. And she was flying directly in the direction of the castle. And on the highest tower, there was a little terrace. And she went down there. The ring was shining. And she was around this flower. But on the terrace, she saw a boy standing. She said she never saw a boy in her life. She said, wow, what are you doing here? And the boy said, oh, I wanted to ask you that. What special clothes you have? And she said, yes, well, I'm living next to the sea. And you? And he said, I'm living here. And she said, oh, son, you must be so amazing happy. And he said, no, I'm not happy. Every morning when I'm standing up, I see just the pictures of my father and my grandfather. And I'm so scared that I will not be a good king, that I can never sleep in the night. And he was looking very tired. And he was really looking like an old man when this girl saw him. And she said, why? You don't have to think so bad. And when the sun goes down, you cannot think bad. Think about how beautiful it will be and how happy you will be. But the sun went down and she was forgetting to hold the ring in the sun. And so she was there on the terrace with the little king's son, with the prince. And he said, how did you come here? And she said, yes, I have this ring, but I can just move with the sun. Because if the sun touches my ring, I can move wherever I want. Then the king said, but I don't want to leave you here on the terrace. And the little girl said, well, then bring me down. And he said, okay, I will bring you down and to my parents. And then he cut his arms, he cut it away, and he put little arms for her. And then he cut the things of his dress and made her a little dress. It was a little bit short, but it looked really pretty on her because they had the same colors and they were looking so sweet together. And he said, you know what? I saw so many princesses, but they all look so serious with these long dresses and everything. And I never wanted to have one. And you know why? Why I never wanted to have one? She said, why? Because they are so serious, like the paintings on the wall, like all these kings and the queens, what we have over-dimensional in next to the stairs. And she said, well, but you can be an happy king. And he said, I never thought about, but you know what? Now with you, I would like to be a king. And he was smiling and color came in his head, in his face. So he was taking the hand of the little girl. They went down all the stairs and down and down and down, all these million and trillion stairs in the castle. When they came down, the queen and the king were there. And they were looking at the boy. They said, like, strange, the arms are away. And what is this for a girl? She wear the same colors. And she was so much laughing, the girl, and going down the stairs with her little feet, naked feet. And the king started laughing and he said, this is funny. This is really nice. And he asked his prince, I never saw you so happy. And the prince said, well, I found a girl for me. Are you allow me to leave this girl in my house, to be with her if she wants? And the queen said she never saw his son so happy. She said, of course, this is the perfect princess for you. So they got married. They were together forever. And sometimes They were upstairs in the terrace and they looked the sunset, and then all the little letters of the all the little leaves of the flowers came, and they went down together, hugging each other very much, went down to the beach and visiting the father. And then when the sun went down, they went up again in the terrace, and they went down in the castle, and they had a beautiful and happy life, and it was maybe one of the best kings ever existed. So this was a fairy tale from today. I hope that you like it. It's very nice to hear sometimes stories from somebody, because you have another imagination than me, and it's only your pictures. So it's a story, it's a gift from me, you can have forever. And always when you go in bed, like the little king, you have to think positive and good things. So I wish you a good night. Your Alexa Rubin. Bye bye.